You went away. You went away. You've been sending flowers, flowers to me. Flowers today, flowers today.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Faith. If you're new here, welcome, and I'm really excited to have you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you never miss another video with me again. So today we're talking about something that is very personal to me, and I think it's a topic that isn't much discussed but should be, because it is very important, especially if you are on the journey of self-discovery and growth. And what that topic is the idea of putting yourself first. This topic is something that I have faced problems with for a very long time. I think most of my life I've never really put myself first or been selfish in any way, and I always just used to beat myself up about the fact that I needed to consider others before myself, and that was the right thing to do. And I really took the idea of serving others and putting others before yourself way out of proportion. And I think it is very easy for a lot of people to fall into that trap of putting that out of proportion. I also just want to make a disclaimer that it is not wrong to put others before yourself and consider other people's feelings, but it can become unhealthy. And an example is if you start to highly consider other people, even when you aren't in situations that involve other people. And what I mean by that is there are times when I would be going through something on my own, so it would lead to me being very depressed or just not having a great time. And my initial reaction to my situation wouldn't be that, oh my gosh, I'm sad right now, I need help, or I can't do this. My initial reaction would be, how dare I feel this way? It is so selfish of me to feel like this when there are other people who don't have food, don't have water, don't have parents, like people who, in my mind, I thought they had the right to feel that way and that I don't have the right to feel that way. And I think when you start to feel that way about the idea of putting yourself first, then it's very unhealthy, because it's okay to not be okay, and I am an advocate for that. Like, it's okay for you not to always be okay, and it is not selfish for you to prioritize your mental health. I think it's so important for us to understand that you can only be there for other people to a full extent or in full capacity if you have been there for yourself first. I mean, if you're running on empty, how are you going to serve somebody else? So the first thing that I think is very important for us to understand is that it is not selfish to put yourself first. It is in no way you being inconsiderate of anybody else. You prioritizing your health or taking care of yourself when you're not okay is not selfish. Because if you're sick and somebody is asking you to do something for them or take care of them, and you're not in a position to do so mentally, physically, or emotionally, and you put yourself in that situation, you are not helping anybody at all. You're not even serving that person that you have convinced that you're in a position to serve. And you're doing yourself a disservice. You really just need to put yourself first, prioritize getting better so that you can be better for the other person and mostly for yourself. The second thing is to value your time and money. This one is so important because we don't all have the time to spend time with everybody or do things with people, and sometimes you don't even have the time to communicate or spend time with people that you actually care about because you're so busy. And it's okay to be busy as long as you're not in any way affecting your body or mind in a negative way or those around you. But I also think that in your busyness, you also need to value that time. So there are two aspects to this. So value the fact that you need to try and spend time with other people or spend time doing other things rather than just being busy and consumed with work. But there's also the fact that sometimes you need to work. You need to cancel going on dates or going to certain events because you need to prioritize the important things, the things that pay the bills in your life. And yeah, I think a prime example of struggling to value your time and money really comes up, especially if you're a university student and you perhaps live at res or whatnot, and you have friends who may be in a different degree. I don't know what it is. Like, people just think we have time to do things. So I think one of the things, like for me, I really, really enjoy going out with my friends. And when I was in first year, I really enjoyed spending time with my friends. But I understood that if I'm deciding in this moment to go have lunch with my friends, then I need to shift my studies to a different time, and I need to be strict with myself in terms of getting stuff done. Now, there are people who really have a deadline, but if somebody begs to hang out with them or begs to go out, they would forfeit the deadline that they have that's so important for spending time with their friend, which is the most unwise thing you can do, actually. You need to understand what your priorities are, and that prioritizing your work and the things that are important to you is not selfish, and it's okay. In terms of valuing your money, you don't have to say yes to everyone that asks you for money. I mean, this one is mostly for me because it is something that I am really struggling with at the moment. I will be in the pits, like in the pits, and I will still say yes. Like, I don't know how to do it. And it's funny because the other day I was asking my mom, like, how do you just say no to someone? And she was like, you just say no. I just feel like just saying no sometimes is enough. And if somebody is holding that against you, then maybe you should evaluate whether that person is the type of person you want to have in your life. They need to understand that you're not in a position to help them if you're not in a position to help them. The third thing that I think is very important is to set boundaries. It also ties into the money and time thing, but it's just understanding that you need to identify behaviors of other people that you don't appreciate or behaviors that don't serve you, and setting your boundaries in terms of those things. You know, it's easy to allow other people to disrespect you, but you also need to understand that when you feel disrespected and you don't like it and you want that person to stop, it is your duty to express that you feel disrespected, because some people behave in really odd ways and they don't know that they're hurting you or being horrible. And obviously this isn't about super controversial topics, because those are topics for another day, because some people are genuinely just horrible people. But I mean, there are some people who will continuously barge in on you doing something, and if you don't like it, you need to explain that to them. Like my little brother, constantly. So I've talked to him about it, and he is slowly working on it, but at the end of the day, he is 7 and he doesn't really understand that he's doing something wrong or like annoying. But I have made it a priority to set those boundaries, and you should do that too. If there are behaviors you don't appreciate, you need to tell people that, like, this is not on. Like, don't just take people's SHIT because you feel like you're a trash bag, you know? I think a lot of people fall into that when you don't like yourself, when you feel like you deserve to be treated this way, or that, you know what, people should be allowed to behave the way they want around you, you let a lot of things slide. And that is very unhealthy, because in the long run, it's making you upset, it's driving you insane, and you need to be happy to prioritize yourself. So set boundaries. The fourth thing that I think is very important when it comes to putting yourself first is to actually spend time with yourself. It is okay to block time out just for yourself. You don't always need to be working, studying, fulfilling some obligation for a third party. You can just block out time and be like, in this time, I just want to be lying in bed meditating, or just being with me and doing things that I enjoy. Like, I enjoy drawing, let me just draw. I enjoy journaling, let me journal. And if somebody in that time is saying, hey, let's hang out, you need to be like, look, I'm busy. And you need to understand that it's okay for the time that you spend for yourself to be a busy time. And I spoke about this in one of my previous videos, that blocking out time for yourself or for your passions was very, very important. And there is no other way you're going to understand the things you enjoy or the things you like if you don't spend time with yourself. So that is very important, and that is the fourth step. And the fifth and final step is to learn to love yourself. In those times when you're spending time with yourself and you're discovering all the things that you enjoy or like to do, understand that you are nurturing you, you are feeding your soul, and that's beautiful. There is beauty in that, and loving yourself is good. Loving yourself is not selfish. And when you love yourself, you are able to better love those around you in a way that is healthier, that in a way that doesn't serve only you, but those around you. Things that help you to learn to love yourself is to throw yourself into the things you enjoy. If you enjoy watching series, do that. If you enjoy reading, do that. I've actually thrown myself back into reading, and I will be doing a reading list soon for the self-isolation, you know, like what books I'll be reading during self-isolation. I will be doing a video about that. And those aren't like the prescribed steps, but I think if you want to prioritize putting yourself first, there are things that you should definitely consider. And these are just things that I've learned personally and I'm still learning, and they've helped me on this journey, and I hope that they can help you too. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Don't forget to like it, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video with me again. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.